Aloha! This is your host, Dr. Joe Kimbo with the Power Compass Podcast, and today's episode or topic that I'd like to talk about actually is something that I've come upon with my own life. It's a a process that I've seen for myself, a process that I've seen for other people, and so I thought, you know what, I think this would be a really good time to talk about this, especially we're coming up to the end of the year. I mean, can you believe that already? I mean, November's almost done. We've already had Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, by the way. And so we're coming up into a time where a lot of people are starting to think about New Year's resolutions. I know I'm kind of maybe ahead of the game. I'm maybe a whole month ahead of the game. But you're probably thinking that right now. You're probably thinking about, okay, last year, this is what I set for myself, and this is what I wanted to accomplish. This is what I wanted to do. And then, like almost most people, you probably got into the new year, and then you decided, oh my goodness, this is too stressful, or I have too much stress. I have too much going on my plate, so I can't do this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop that goal completely. But yet, somewhere inside, you still felt like, hey, I still want to achieve this goal, whether it might have been weight loss or something with your finances, your business, or whatever it might have been. You still wanted it, but you were stressed out about it. And so I thought, okay, let's talk about this whole phenomenon. Let's talk about why this happens to your life. Why do you feel this way? Why does this happen? Why do you continue to repeat this pattern over and over again? You set a goal, you feel stressed out about it, and so you let go of it. But yet you still want it. So you got this conflict going on inside your head where you're like, oh my goodness, I have too much stress. I'm too distracted by what's going on with this goal that I set for myself, or maybe several goals that I've set for myself. Yeah, I'm so distracted. I need to just get rid of it. But yet if I get rid of it, I feel stressed out because I still want it. I mean, have you ever been through that process? I know I have, where I've set a goal for myself. I felt too stressed about it, and so I wanted to be just let go of it and be done with it, but yet at the same time I still wanted it. So let me help you go through and figure out what this phenomenon is all about. And so to help you gain the right perspective and the right perception about why this happens, let me take you through this little tiny exercise. And I want to call this exercise the genie exercise, okay? So first, I want you to go ahead and take a second. I want you to visualize that you've got this lamp, like from Aladdin's lamp. You've got that lamp in front of you, and if you rub it, poof, right, this genie comes out. This genie comes out. I want you to visualize this genie's right in front of you now, and the genie's looking at you and says, okay, master, I'm going to give you one wish. I'm giving you one wish, and this one wish can be anything that you want. I guess there's only two rules to this wish. The two rules are that you can't ask for more wishes, so there's only one wish, okay? And then the second rule is that you can't wish for something that would take away or hinder somebody else's free will. That's the only rules to this one wish, okay? So imagine that the genie's right there in front of you, and the genie's ready to give you your wish. And then as you're thinking there, the genie then tells you, okay, you have 10 seconds to make your wish. And after those 10 seconds, poof, I'm going to be gone. You'll never have that opportunity again to make this wish. So what is it that you want? So I want you to take a moment without giving yourself any self-judgment. Don't judge yourself. But what is the first thing that comes into your mind about what would you love to wish for? What would you wish for? Now, when you took that second, and the first thing that popped into your mind, what was it? Was it more finances? Was it something to do with your health? Was it something to do with your business? Was it something to do with maybe a new home? Or maybe something to do with one of your kids or your family? Or what was it that first came up to your mind? Now, if you're like most people, when I ask this question, or when I've heard this question asked to anyone else, you're probably going to your first thing that you're going to want is probably something that is external, like more money, or you're going to want more something to go with your health or whatever it is. Well, if the first thing that you answered in your mind for your wish was something that was more on the external of your life, that is actually the answer to this question that I gave you. Why do you feel stressed out when you set these goals for yourself? You want to let go of it, but yet you feel stressed if you let go of that goal. You just answered your own question by answering what it is that you would get from that genie. Now, I want you to keep thinking about that thing that you would wish for, but I want to give you some information about your mind. Now, inside your mind, there's this switch, and the switch can be turned either to stress and failure, or to success, relaxation, joy, all those things. We've all got this switch inside of our brain and inside of our mind. Now, an interesting thing that has been shown, and this has been shown through different research and with different colleges and so forth, they've actually gone through and studied this. They found out that when you set goals that have an external expectation in your life, and that's your only goal, that's your only focus, it actually takes that switch and switches it from the relaxation success portion over to stress. Now, no one really understands why this even happens in the first place. But when you set that external focus and external goal, you actually set your brain to stress. So that's why you feel stressed out when you set these goals for yourself, even if it's something that's worthy, even if something that's really good. You know, it might be something like wanting to lose 20 pounds because it'd be good for your heart, it'd be good for your body, it'd be good for your health, right? Or maybe you set a goal to accomplish a certain thing with your business, and maybe that will allow you to be able to touch more people's lives, to be able to allow you to create some really good change for your community. The only problem is that when you set a goal that has an external expectation to it, it creates stress within inside yourself. Because now you have to have that external thing happen in your life, or else your brain starts to interpret that you can't be happy, you can't be joyful, you can't be at peace unless that external thing happens. Now, what happens if that external thing doesn't happen? Well, then you continue to feel more stressed. You might even feel depressed. You might feel anxious. You might feel angry. You might feel bitter, resentful. You've probably been in that place before where you've set an external goal for yourself. It doesn't happen. Or maybe even does happen. And when it does happen, you don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel like the thing that you got actually helped you achieve what it is that you really want. And what it is that you really want in your mind, what your brain really is aching for, what your heart really wants, is more of an internal state of peace, love, and joy. That's what you really want. And people have found now that if you take your focus off of the external, creating the external in your life, and start looking more at creating the internal states of joy, peace, and love, now it doesn't matter what happens outside of yourself. You could totally achieve this great thing, or you won't achieve this thing. But yet you're still going to feel joyful, happy, and peaceful inside. Now, many people have said, well, I'd rather have all of that money and have that financial security than feeling peaceful. Well, that's not going to last for very long for you. I know a lot of people that have a lot of money in their life, they have exactly what they want physically, yet they have no peace inside. I know some people who have been able to achieve some really great things externally, but yet they don't feel love, they don't feel joy, they don't feel peace. So they don't feel fulfilled. So then they just go on to the next thing. They go on to the next thing, go on to the next thing, hoping that eventually that they're going to find that peace and love that they're actually searching for. That's what they're really looking for, is that internal state of peace, love, and joy. So one thing that I talk about here is that when it comes to goal setting, what you really need to do is that you need to set desires rather than setting goals. Now, what's the difference between setting a desire and setting a goal? Well, the big difference is where your main focus is at. So if you set a goal, that's where your brain is going to focus on. So if your goal happens to be an external state in your life or an external experience, that creates that switch to that stress switch on your brain. So you go to stress, okay? But if you take those external goals, because a lot of those external goals are probably still great to have, No, it'd be great to have financial security. It'd be great to be able to have better health. It'd be great to have all these other things that are external from your inside, right? And so I don't want you to give up on those goals. I don't want you to let go of those goals. In fact, if you're feeling some conflict about letting go of certain goals, and you're like, but I still want those things, well, then that usually means that there's a higher purpose for having that thing in your life. So that's why when you take that goal, switch it to more of a desire. You can still desire to have that better health. You can still desire to have that financial security. You can still desire those things and those experiences in your life. But what you do now, instead of having all of your focus on achieving that external thing, what you do is that you set that desire. So let's just use an example of the desire of wanting to lose 20 pounds. Okay, let's say you want to lose some weight. So you set that desire, I want to be able to lose 20 pounds this year. Okay, now what you do to change it from a goal to a desire is that you write that thing down, you do whatever it is that you do with your goal setting process, but now you take that thing and you completely let it go. You let go of any expectations of receiving that thing in your life, of achieving that thing in your life. And what I suggest doing, what I do personally, is that you take that desire and you release it to your higher power. Your higher power, whoever your higher power may be. It may be God, it may be Jesus Christ, whoever your higher power is. For my higher power is God and Jesus Christ. So we set that goal into a desire by letting it go and taking it to your higher power. And you hand that thing over to your higher power. You're completely willing to let that thing go, and you're not going to judge your life and your achievement level based on if you reach that goal or not, because you've let it go to your higher power. And now what you want to focus on, now what your ultimate goal should be, is that internal state of peace, joy, and love. And then what happens is that now you've got all these desires of things that you want to achieve. And when you've released it out to your higher power, what that actually does, and now that you're focusing on this internal state, you now have taken that switch, that stress switch, and you switched it right over to a place of success and empowerment. So now what happens is that now you're actually in a better place to achieve that external thing. I know that probably sounds a little opposite, right? Where you're like, okay, I want to achieve this thing, the weight loss, but now what I'm doing is that I'm letting go of any of my expectations of achieving it, and I'm handing it over to my higher power, and I'm now going to focus on those internal states of love, joy, and peace. How's that going to help me be able to achieve my goal? How is that going to help me lose the weight? How's that help me to gain more money in my life, right? Sounds kind of opposite. It's like, okay, I want this thing, I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to expect to get it. I'm just going to focus on my internal state. Well, what happens is that when you start focusing on the internal state, you actually gain the energy, the power, the clarity, and the vision of how to achieve those desires. You now are in a place where you're just a clear conduit to be able to receive instruction from a higher plane of how to actually achieve that goal. So beforehand, if you just had a focused goal on, let's say again, the weight loss again, if you just had a focused goal on, okay, I want to lose these pounds. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe I need to do this diet. Maybe I need to restrict these type of things in my life. I need to start exercising like crazy. I need to start doing this, and this. You start creating all of these to-do lists, and you've probably experienced this where you've done this before. You've created this list of things to do, and nothing happened. In fact, you may have even gained more weight after going through this particular process. Okay. Or maybe you lost the weight and you gained it right back and more, right? Well, that's because you were more focused on that goal rather than on the internal state. And you were working from a place of stress. So you've taken that switch, you switched it over to stress. So now you're working a plan according to a stressed state. I hope that makes sense. But now, when you take that goal, you change it into a desire, and you let it go to your higher power, you let it go to another source of power that's greater than you, what ends up happening now is that you are now, and then as you start to focus in on the internal states of peace, love, and joy, all of a sudden you become empowered to take the right action, to take the most effective action, and that's actually going to help you achieve those external states in your life. So now what ends up happening is that maybe you find out that, oh, exercising like that was not really what I was supposed to do. This is the type of exercise I was supposed to do. And maybe this diet wasn't the diet that you're supposed to follow. Maybe this way of eating was the way that you're supposed to eat. Then you start also realizing that you're working from a place of joy. You really enjoy the things that you're doing to be able to lose this weight. It's a joyful process rather than a stressed out process, right? Because now you're working from a place of success and relaxation or peace rather than a place of stress. And so now the action that you take is actually going to be more effective, more efficient, and you're going to achieve better results. You're going to achieve more lasting results. So that's one of the biggest, that's one of the biggest things in relation to setting goals, especially with the new year coming up, is that if we're focused more on the external goals and achieving those external goals, we're going to be working from a place of stress rather than a place of success. So what I want you to do this next coming week, these next few days, I want you to look at some goals that you have going on in your life, look at your goals, and if those goals are stressing you out, it's probably because you're so focused on the external part of the goal, of achieving that goal, right? So I want you to take those goals, and I want you to take those goals, and if it's still something that you still want to achieve, you look at them as a desire, like I really still want to achieve that. I really have a high desire to achieve that in your life. And I want you to take some time, take those goals, let them go. Let go of the outcome. Let go of the outcome of that goal. So don't let go of that desire, but let go of the outcome of it happening for you. And then what I want you to do is now start focusing on how can I achieve those internal states of peace, love, and joy. And literally ask that question. You can write down on a piece of paper, how can I achieve more peace in my life internally? How can I achieve those internal states? And sometimes it has nothing to do with what you're going to do. It might just be a matter of fact of just living that every day and focusing on feeling peace inside. Not allowing the external to define how you're going to feel. Not allowing the different things that you're achieving to define that level of peace, love, and joy in your heart. But just actually just feeling it and experiencing that on an internal basis. And there's a lot of ways of being able to do that out there. And I'm not going to go over it right now because that's a whole nother process that we'd need to talk about. And I think that might be another good process or podcast that we can go over. But start off there. Before going into actually trying to figure out all these other things that you could be doing, because I don't want to give you more things to do. I don't want to give you more external things to try to achieve. I want you just to focus on that internal peace. Focus on just meditating on feeling peace. Right here, right now, for the next 30 minutes, just focus on feeling peace. Whatever is going on inside your life, just focus on feeling peace. So focus on that over this next coming week. I want you to come back, let us know, give us a comment, let us know how you felt. How did it feel to actually take that goal, create it into a desire, and let it go? What did that do for you? Was it empowering? Was it stressful? Was it scary to do that? What did you experience with that? And also what I want you to do is let us know, how did it feel, and what did you end up doing to actually start creating more of an internal state of peace, love, and joy? What was your go-to method? What helped you to be able to focus more here rather than focusing more on outside of yourself? So I like to try to keep these things short so that you can just have something really simple to take action on, because there are so many things going on in our lives these days that are trying to take our time in that. And I don't want this to be another one of those things. I want this to be another little tiny action item that you can add into your daily life and start seeing some change happen right away. So if you feel like you're needing some help, I'm there for you. If If you feel like you need some clarity, if you feel like you need some direction, if you feel like I'm just not sure how to take this information and you want some extra help, my team and I are right there to be able to help you out. I always offer this to everyone. There's a free clarity call that we offer to everyone, that if you just want to get on a call with either me or someone on my team to be able to gain some clarity over how can I create my goals into desires and how can I focus on the internal state, take that free call. Take that free call. I'll put the booking link right there in the comments. I'll put the booking link somewhere where you can get a hold of it. The booking link also, it's at www.mypowercompass.com/apply. You can go to that booking link. You can find a time that works out best for you to be able to talk to somebody on my team, and we can help you gain some clarity, help you gain some direction. I just want to help you out. That's what this group is all about. That's what this podcast is all about, is being able to help you gain some clarity. Because there's a lot of distractions out there these days. There's a lot of things out there that are taking up our time, taking up our mind power, and taking up our mind space, and dragging us down into a place where we feel like we can't achieve what we want to achieve in our life. And so I want to help you out with that by giving you this information and giving you that free call. So take us up on that offer. Come back. Look for more information to help you move forward. Again, this is Dr. Joseph Kipo'o. I'm really happy to have been able to take this time with you to be able to help you gain more clarity with your vision, direction, and achieve a masculine life. Until next time, we'll see you then.